Beiran Baliju has lived in Germany since 1970. His wife and children joined him just 8 years ago. His remaining relatives are now refugees in the Balkans.
For a year now, my family has been eating just 2 meals a day, because we knew this would eventually happen. And we saved 1 meal every day, in the hope that we'd be able to help people. And if my family comes to Germany, if my brothers and sisters and my parents manage to get to Germany, or if I were able to get a visa to go and fetch them, we'd be happy to eat just 1 meal a day.
Myself, said this man, it's my 3 kids I worry about. They've spent every night for a month in the cellar, whilst his mother asked who would pay for all the damage. But in a sign, perhaps, that the cost of day and night attacks are starting to tell, Serbia's health minister claimed a total of 400 civilian dead and that half the country's medical services had been destroyed. As federal deputy premier Vuk Drašković repeated his claim that Mr. Milosevic was now ready to agree UN armed peacekeepers in Kosovo once NATO ceased their attacks.
Our obligation, state obligation.
Lokan, former opposition leader, is acting as a political weather vane for the presidency that hasn't diminished his criticism of its conduct. Today he again poured scorn on an agreement by which 5 TV stations now rebroadcast twice-nightly news bulletins from state-run TV whose civilian staff were victims of last week's airstrike. And that means they could risk the same fate as this building, now condemned for demolition, such as the wreckage wrought by being targeted twice. It stands as a landmark in the city and signifies NATO's clear intention to pursue their aims through the air campaign until they receive a sign of Mr. Milosevic's good faith in any future negotiations. Jeff Mead, Sky News, Belgrade.
Another train and 10 busloads from Kosovo. 2,500 people now confined to the border post, waiting for space on the other side. Some said they were shelled out of their towns, others came down from the hills when they ran out of food. And one man confirmed earlier reports of shootings in a village called Slovin near Pristina.
17 people were killed and buried in one grave, and in the village they shot another 20, whose names I remember and could tell you.
None of the news from inside Kosovo was encouraging.
NATO think they're destroying the Serb army, but they're wrong. They haven't hurt them at all.
The new transit camp was gradually emptied of the previous night's wave, and somehow the aid agencies found room for them in the camps, but it's not going to last.
Other solutions have to be found. Either the Macedonian government has to agree to us finally that we can get another site, and they're very difficult in that, or otherwise humanitarian evacuation has to be increased.
Food is not a problem. The world has been generous, but increasingly it looks like those who get on an evacuation flight are the lucky ones. It's become a process. One wave must wait here at the border crossing while the aid agencies struggle to empty the transit camps to make room for them. This group have been waiting here so far on this spot for 6 hours. It's efficient, organized and dehumanizing. Even the ground they tread is disinfected before their eyes. Andrew Wilson, Sky News, at the Kosovo Macedonian.
Lessons during the tiny village of Dragacina crossed into Albania with a dreadful story to tell. They were exhausted and very distressed after 5 nights of terror and pain. They said that after the Serb soldiers and police had entered their village, around 300 women and their children had been locked into 3 houses. About 10 old men were put into a 4th house. Their husbands and brothers, men of fighting age, had already escaped to the mountains. They think the old men were killed. They were taken to a refugee camp in Kukez. Then, as aid workers handed out pajamas for their children, they started to talk. They said that for 3 nights the Serbs came into the basements, shining torches into their faces, looking for young women and taking them away. They didn't want us to use their names, but some were prepared to speak out about being raped. This woman said she covered her face with a blanket, but still she was picked out. In the commander's office, 2 policemen forced her to take her clothes off gave her cosmetics and told her to use them. Then they did many bad things, she said. In Bosnia, the Serbs carried out many crimes against women, sexual crimes against women. Did something like that happen to her?
Yeah, like a Bosnian. Yeah.
Some relations who'd managed to escape before them came to the camp and heard, horrified, about what had been happening in their village. This woman said she was forced at gunpoint to take her clothes off. I was so embarrassed, she said, but what could I do? The room was full of men, she doesn't know how many. Naked, they made her serve them drinks. She said she was raped as the rest of them watched. Another woman, she said, was kept much longer and they treated her even worse. She said she knew 3 married women and 2 young girls who were raped. Independent human rights monitors are interviewing her and the others. Like the BBC, they're hearing the same stories again and again.
They all said that they have never come across such a large number of consistent accounts of sexual abuse of a large number of women.
This family managed to save a few photos. They were robbed of everything else. Most people in the camp have the same surname, are members of the same clan. The life they had in Dragacina has been destroyed. The women here are giving very consistent accounts of what happened. There's no doubt about how much they've suffered. We're talking about one village, so small it isn't even on some maps. The question that can't be answered yet is how many women in how many villages and towns in Kosovo have been victims of the same crime. Jeremy Bowen, BBC News, in Kukes, northern Albania.
Bedingungen in den albanischen Bergen, den Kampf gegen serbische Bodentruppen. Wie gefährlich ihr Einsatz ist, zeigen diese Bilder. Ein mit Raketen und anderen Waffen bestückter Apache-Hubschrauber stürzt 50 Kilometer nördlich von Tirana ab und geht in Flammen auf. Die 2 Piloten konnten sich rechtzeitig in Sicherheit bringen und wurden innerhalb kürzester Zeit von ihren Truppen geborgen. Sie werden im Krankenhaus behandelt. Solange Präsident Milosevic seine NATO-Truppen nicht abzieht und der Stationierung von Friedenstruppen nicht zustimmt, solange werden die Angriffe weitergehen. Daran ändert auch die in Belgrad signalisierte Kompromissbereitschaft nichts. Der Westen reagierte mit großer Skepsis auf die Verlautbarung des jugoslawischen Vize-Regierungschefs und Ermordungen durchgeführt haben.
Ich hatte Ihnen hier gesagt, ich habe gar nicht damit gerechnet, dass man ein Fotograf...
Wie eine Großbaustelle auf einer deutschen Autobahn aussieht, ist in Wirklichkeit das Flüchtlingslager der Vereinigten Arabischen Emirate im albanischen Kukes. Die Wüstensöhne aus Dubai und Abu Dhabi leisten hier wirklich Erstaunliches. Sie kapitulieren nicht vor den widrigen Umständen, von nicht vorhandener Infrastruktur bis hin zu verschlammten Straßen, sie ändern das einfach. Die Araber haben den Willen und, nicht zu vergessen, vor allem das Geld dafür. Außerdem, wie man Zelte aufbaut, wissen die Beduinenvölker natürlich sowieso am besten. Von der Walze bis zum Krankenwagen, alles was man so braucht für die perfekte Zeltstadt wird mit Hubschraubern eingeflogen. Und da ein Landeplatz für Flugzeuge noch besser wäre, baut man eben einen. Da gibt es ein Abenteuer, um den Glaubensbrüdern aus dem Kosovo zu helfen. Knapp 500 Flüchtlinge, überwiegend Frauen und Kinder, kamen in der vergangenen Nacht über die Grenze. Ihre Gesichter zeigen mehr als 1000 Worte, was diese Menschen hinter sich haben. Vor allem die medizinische Versorgung ist verblüffend. Hier gibt es Fachärzte für viele Bereiche, vom Kinderarzt bis zum Psychologen. Dabei ist noch längst nicht die gesamte Ausrüstung vor Ort, aber demnächst will man bis zu 500 Patienten am Tag versorgen. All das Material hier hinzubekommen ist natürlich das größte Problem. Sie wissen, wir importieren alles aus einem anderen Kontinent. Erst müssen wir alles aus den Emiraten nach Tirana bringen und dann noch einmal weiter bis hier ins Lager. Die Medikamente jedenfalls sind schon da. Die Zeltapotheke ist wirklich gut sortiert. Auf Rezept kann sich hier jeder Flüchtling abholen, was er braucht. Freundlich und hilfsbereit wird man hier bedient. Eine Behandlung, die von den Vertriebenen mit Dankbarkeit angenommen wird. Und kinderfreundlich ist man hier im arabischen Lager. So gibt es für die kleinen Flüchtlinge zur Begrüßung erst einmal ein Geschenk. Frische Kleidung. Natürlich keine Secondhand-Ware. Diese Schlafanzüge sind, wie könnte es anders sein, nagelneu.
Latest pictures released by Serbian TV showing what remains of the town of Srdelica. According to local officials, 11 NATO missiles struck the town, killing at least 17 civilians, many of them women and children. NATO says it carried out a successful attack on a Serb army barracks, but in a statement said it could not rule out harm to civilians. The Serb TV pictures clearly show extensive damage to the town, which is about 200 miles south of Belgrade. Officials said 50 houses have been destroyed and 600 badly damaged. Rescue officials were trying to clear mounds of rubble, searching for more victims. Local people said there was a military garrison in the town, but it had been abandoned since another NATO attack earlier this month. It's not clear if that was the intended target. Andrew Bomford, BBC News.
Well, the British Defence Secretary...
Mainly women and children were crammed into around 80 tractors and trailers. Cold, confused and exhausted, they said they'd been forced from their homes by Serb forces early yesterday morning. Soldiers have told them that unless they left, they'd be tied up and burnt with their homes. All the refugees come from the DokuNJERI region in southwest Kosovo. On arrival, aid agencies handed out blankets, plastic sheeting, fruit and hot drinks.
It sounds, if their stories are correct, and they're very consistent stories, as if a whole area has been both cleansed, burned, and a reasonable number of men taken.
We were told that 1 or 2 men were taken from each vehicle and forced to lay spread-eagled on the ground. Some gave unsubstantiated accounts of how they had seen up to 200 bodies piled in a field. There are also unconfirmed reports that the convoy stretches 15 kilometres back from the border. Angus Stickler, BBC News, on the Albanian-Kosovan border.
The distressing pictures of refugees who have fled Kosovo to Albania and Macedonia have been seen all around the world. Many people are moved to do more than just donate money. The Schmidt family from Berlin wanted to help in a more direct way.
After seeing the news about the Kosovo crisis, we made a spontaneous decision as a family to ask how we could help. We thought an obvious response was to say we would be happy to take refugees from the Kosovo area into our home.
So, after coming home from the bank where he works, Tomasz Schmidt puts his energies into an internet project for refugees. Many newspapers have also encouraged people to help out. But campaigns like these are controversial.
Campaigns.
Nevertheless, the Schmidts are certain that they can offer a good home for refugees. But they're unable to put up a whole family.
1 child, 2 children, or a mother with a child. We have 3 children ourselves. We have a lot to do with children and we'd like to help.
Many aid organizations are getting similar offers from people who specify they want to take in and care for children or orphans.
Orphans are not delivered here in boxes. That's a completely wrong perception. First, agencies try to find the relatives of children whose parents have disappeared. Even if the father and mother are no longer alive, there might be other siblings, uncles or aunts who would naturally want to take the child and who already have a relationship with the child.
In Berlin's Albanian club, the topic of conversation is the war in Kosovo. They watch Albanian news on television. Almost everyone here has a relative in the war zone. Beiran Baliju has lived in Germany since 1970. His wife and children joined him just 8 years ago. His remaining relatives are now refugees in the Balkans.
For a year now, my family has been eating just 2 meals a day, because we knew this would eventually happen. And we saved 1 meal every day, in the hope that we'd be able to help people. And if my family comes to Germany, if my brothers and sisters and my parents manage to get to Germany, or if I were able to get a visa to go and fetch them, we'd be happy to eat just 1 meal a day.
Are reluctant to accept exceptions to the rule, so Germans who want to take in refugees privately can't, and Kosovo Albanians face a tough fight to win visas for relatives.
More than a month, the RAF fighter squadron based at Gioia del Colle has carried out day and night bombing raids deep into Kosovo. But this latest mission turned out to be the most dangerous so far. They came under heavy caliber anti-aircraft fire as they attacked a Serb military storage area near Pristina. They were forced to take evasive action as the AAA exploded only 200 meters below them.
Some of our pilots were absolutely convinced that anti-aircraft fire was directed specifically against them for the first time. But despite this, they pressed home the attack because it did tend to concentrate their minds somewhat, and then they egressed the target area as soon as they could and returned safely.
In the 34 days since the NATO air campaign began, there have been 474 attacks on 227 individual sites. NATO say 70 combat aircraft out of a total of 450 have been destroyed, including a number of the most feared MiG-29 and MiG-21s. The attack on the Harriers is a clear indication that the Serb air defense system is far from being disabled. But NATO say it is being destroyed accurately, systematically and with impunity. David Crabtree, Sky News, Gioia del Colle.
Qui ajoute encore à la tension, à Koukas surtout, qui est considérée comme une zone potentielle de conflit, car l'UCK y a implanté de nombreux camps d'entraînement. C'est tout l'équilibre régional qui est en péril. Pour éviter l'asphyxie totale aux pays voisins du Kosovo, le FMI s'est engagé hier soir à leur débloquer une aide rapide.
Les vieux Albanais n'ont qu'une connaissance très rudimentaire du Coran.
Quand la police arrêtait quelqu'un avec le Coran, même si c'était un enfant, elle confisquait le livre pour le mettre en pièces. J'ai vu ça de mes propres yeux.
Aujourd'hui, le Coran est enseigné partout. Les jeunes Albanais s'y intéressent de près et leurs interprétations sont souvent très libres.
Pour moi, l'islam défend des valeurs telles que la solidarité, l'égalité entre les hommes. C'est une religion fondée sur l'honnêteté, une religion qui exhorte les hommes à s'aider les uns les autres.
Sur le terrain, les membres des organisations humanitaires arabes constatent souvent un regret que l'islam de leurs frères albanais n'a pas grand-chose à voir avec celui des pays du Golfe.
Il est vrai que les gens d'ici sont très loin de la Mecque et de Médine. De plus, la cohabitation avec les autres Européens n'a pas été sans conséquence. Les Albanais ne respectent plus tous les principes de l'islam, même s'ils essaient d'être de bons musulmans.
Et s'il y a un écueil que les Albanais souhaitent éviter à tout prix, c'est celui de l'intégrisme religieux.
Nous sommes Européens. L'Europe n'est ni la terre du christianisme, ni celle de l'islam. C'est la terre de toutes les religions. Le christianisme est venu d'Orient, tout comme l'islam. Je me sens donc complètement européen. Je n'ai pas l'impression d'être un étranger.
Albanais et bosniaques sont les seuls musulmans vivant en Europe depuis plusieurs siècles. Leur conception de l'islam devrait servir d'exemple aux 20 millions de musulmans qui ont émigré en Europe au cours de ces dernières décennies.
Un'area residenziale, nessun bilancio dei cosiddetti danni collaterali, ma secondo i serbi sarebbero decine le vittime, molti i bambini. È il quinto errore riconosciuto dall'inizio dei bombardamenti. In precedenza Solana aveva fatto il punto dopo il vertice di Washington sulla strategia dell'alleanza, una strategia che resta quella della campagna aerea, metodica e progressiva, ma nessuna opzione, compresa quella delle truppe di terra, è stata tolta dal tavolo. I nostri strateghi stanno aggiornando i piani, ha detto, anche se non è stata presa alcuna decisione. Dunque alleanza al bivio, andare avanti con i bombardamenti o cominciare davvero a preparare l'offensiva di terra. E il richiamo delle baionette Solana per portare aiuto agli 800.000 sventurati ancora intrappolati in Kosovo e per i quali per ora non possiamo far niente. E sul fronte umanitario drammatiche testimonianze di 3 intellettuali kosovari deportati che il commissario Emma Bonino ha fatto incontrare con la stampa. Credevamo di assistere al film Schindler List ed era invece la cruda realtà preparata da tempo con ferocia e freddezza.
I colpi compiute dai serbi nel Kosovo, esecuzioni di massa e profughi colpiti dalle esplosioni delle mine piazzate ai confini dall'esercito jugoslavo. Andiamo dunque in Albania e in Macedonia, a Tirana e a Kukës missione dei ministri italiani, a Skopje un divo dalla parte dei kosovari. Richard Gere.
L'unica cosa che le è rimasta è il crocefisso strappato all'ultimo momento dal muro di casa. Piange questa donna e il Cristo sofferente lo tiene stretto al petto. Se non usciva di casa, finiva bruciata anche lei. I maschi, nonostante le botte e i soldi, sono stati presi dai serbi. Arrivano affamati i bambini e vengono rifocillati dai volontari. Questo piccolo ha il braccio spezzato. È stato preso di forza da un poliziotto jugoslavo, a Jakub. Qualcuno, un giorno, pagherà tutto questo. Non ha più lacrime questa donna, dovrebbe partorire a momenti. Ha fatto 50 chilometri a piedi con i 2 piccoli e il marito. Chiede dov'è la sala parto. Si stringe la mano chi ce la fa a passare il confine. C'è chi si abbraccia e piange. Vetri rotti e i segni delle ultime percosse dei serbi. Morti dappertutto, raccontano, anche bruciati vivi. Passano i trattori sotto l'occhio vigile delle guardie. 2 metri più in là ci sono le mine. La strategia del rubinetto, aveva spiegato l'ambasciatore ONU Stefan de Mistura, per mettere in difficoltà anche le organizzazioni umanitarie. Migliaia di profughi oggi hanno passato la frontiera di Morini. Sono stati quasi subito caricati nei camion. Kukes non ce la fa più ad ospitarli. E c'è un particolare raccapricciante da aggiungere a questo inferno. Un peccato che non trova posto in nessun girone dantesco. Questa gente che vedete, questa notte, quando ha passato la frontiera, è stata rapinata e bastonata da rapinatori albanesi. Nel pomeriggio a Kukes, in elicottero, sono arrivate 3 ministre, Rosa Russo Iervolino, Livia Turco e Rosi Bindi. Hanno parlato con i bambini che ringraziano l'Italia, ma sognano il Kosovo, visitato gli ospedali. Poi la cerimonia semplice del cambio di consegne. Da oggi il campo migliore e più attrezzato dell'Albania è sotto la bandiera dell'ONU.
Un attore nella bolgia di Stenkovec 1, il campo più affollato, al tracollo umanitario. Sembra la solita passerella che attraversa all'improvviso i profughi in questi giorni. E invece Richard Gere sorprende tutti. Datemi il tempo di vedere, resterò qui alcuni giorni. Voglio capire come posso rendermi utile. E la visita comincia sotto la tenda della salute mentale, tra i disegni scioccanti dei bambini e i colloqui con donne e uomini feriti dalla violenza subita. Gere si fa spiegare ogni cosa dal coordinatore di Medici Senza Frontiere. Parla con le ragazze di Pristina che lavorano come volontarie e che gli si affollano attorno per avere una dedica. Paragona il Kosovo al Tibet oppresso dalla Cina e difeso dal Dalai Lama, di cui Gere è seguace. Nella confusione del campo, dove continuano ad entrare autobus carichi di profughi, come farà a ritrovare i genitori un bimbo di 5 anni che si è perso? Allora Vigan, a torso e piedi nudi, si dispera. Senza un'indicazione a poco vale il nostro aiuto. Per fortuna Vigan riconosce un vicino di tenda che lo riporta ai genitori. E a papà e a mamma Marevzi non resta che scrivere il numero di tenda sul braccino di Vigan. Non si sa mai. La giornata si è conclusa tragicamente per i profughi qui in Macedonia. Un gruppo di 50 persone che cercava di entrare dalla frontiera di Blace, aggirando i controlli in Macedonia, è finita in un